Hi. Can you hear me? Okay, so thank you for coming to our blockchain session. I'm Nishi from Rakuten Blockchain Lab. I'm very happy to so many people are interested in blockchain technology. So I hope that we can encourage you to utilize blockchain technology for your businesses through our session. So today, at first, I will briefly introduce Rakuten's initiatives in blockchain area. Then 3 people are visiting from outside of Japan today. So my teammate Fergal from Rakuten Blockchain Lab, and our consortium project partner Olivier from Rakuten Ecommerce and Ganesh from Cardboard Technologies. So they will more deep dive into how to use blockchain and also our actual use cases of the blockchain-based consortium. So let's get started from me. So first, I'd like to introduce our team, Rakuten Blockchain Lab. So our team, Blockchain Lab, is a horizontal development team for all of Rakuten businesses to accelerate blockchain technology utilization. So we believe that blockchain technology can be used for not only for much specific business area like cryptocurrency, but also more broader business area and becoming a foundation of the Rakuten global ecosystem. So this is the history of the Blockchain Lab. Rakuten is invested to BitNet, which was a startup company providing for Bitcoin payment services in 2014. And the next year, we actually accepted the Bitcoin payment actually in our US e-commerce service. Then in 2016, we decided to acquire BitNet to create Rakuten Blockchain Lab. So BitNet was placed in the Belfast of the Northern Ireland. So our core development team is still placed in Belfast. And we are having the small development team is also in the Bangalore of India. And I'm working in Tokyo for business development to Rakuten businesses and external companies. So as a product, we are providing a blockchain platform to Rakuten internal businesses. So suitable blockchain product is completely depending on the use case. So we don't stick to the single blockchain protocol. So we are supporting multiple blockchain protocol, and not only for enterprise blockchain, but also other types of public types of blockchain. So our platform, Rakuten Businesses, enable Rakuten businesses to develop solutions with the benefit of blockchain easily, without having to worry about the complexities of the implementation of the blockchain. So we are providing 3 types of services. One is the enterprise blockchain platform. Second one is the cryptocurrency services. And third one is the key custody service as a common component for both of them. So secure private key management is so important to utilize blockchain as an enterprise. So our key custody service has a capability of HSM-based signing. And also we are investigating other advanced key management technology like multi-party computation and so on. So this is an overview of our enterprise blockchain platform. As you can see, we are providing wrapping API layer for a blockchain protocol layer. So to provide the general capabilities like identity or wallet asset management. A cryptocurrency service is the same kind of approach we do. So for cryptocurrency, so at this moment, we are providing Bitcoin and Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash capability. This is here is the technology stack of our platform. Our platform is provided as a collection of the microservices, and we use Node.js and Docker, Kubernetes, Azure, Kong, and something. By using this platform, we are doing a lot of blockchain initiatives. So I would like to introduce a part of those use cases. As you may know, Rakuten already launched in this summer our cryptocurrency exchange service named Rakuten Wallet. This cryptocurrency wallet system is developed by our team, and the service will become the gateway between the Rakuten ecosystem and the cryptocurrency world. And regarding financial business area, we are targeting to create the system to support atomic delivery versus payment by using atomic swap capability of the blockchain. So it can reduce operation cost, fail risk, counterparty risk or something, and it can make users' experience more seamless. So as you know, especially securities business area, there are so many blockchain projects in the world called security token. In non-fintech business area, this is for energy business area. We already launched a Rakuten energy trading system at the end of 2017. So the service can trade J-Credit. J-Credit is a carbon footprint of the Japanese. So the J-Credit is represented as a non-fungible type of token on the blockchain. So and also this system is designed with intention to open to consortium if needed. Also in media business area, we are trying to solve fake news issue by blockchain. So we are forming the consortium in India with India media companies. So this detail will be introduced from the other speakers later. In e-commerce area, we are trying to evaluate how blockchain-based trust can increase the users, customers' motivation to buy product. So in China, we are collaborating with other third-party companies having the blockchain-based NFC label solution for anti-counterfeit of the product. So we are selling the Japanese product with the label to a China customer. And this is for just for internal POC, but we tried AI and blockchain collaboration for contract management automation. This kind of approach we are investigating as a part of digital transformation of the company. So quickly, as I introduce Rakuten's initiatives on the blockchain area, so from now, my teammate Fergal will deep dive into why blockchain. So I'd like to pass the microphone to Fergal. So Fergal, please go ahead.
Thank you, Nishi. Okay, so thanks, Nishi, for the introduction. As he said, my name's Fergal. I'm here from the Rakuten Blockchain Lab in Belfast. I've got a couple of my colleagues with me here as well. Shout out to Zeki and James. And our mission is to help Rakuten group companies and departments and partners to both understand and take advantage of blockchain technology. So what I'm going to talk to you today is about when it might be a good idea to think about using blockchain technology for your solution. So one of the most common questions that we get asked when we engage with a Rakuten business is, why should I use blockchain? What benefits does blockchain bring me? So of course this flowchart is a joke, but actually it represents how some people think. And on the other hand, some people think that blockchain will solve all the things. In truth, of course, blockchain is not suitable for lots of things, and many problems can be solved without blockchain. But this is actually the wrong question, in my opinion. The questions we should be asking is, What does blockchain do better than other technologies? And what new opportunities are presented to my business area if I use blockchain that wouldn't be possible or would be very difficult without the use of blockchain? So we consider blockchain as a technology choice. And we should be going through the same process that we do when selecting any other technology. We need to think of whether it's strategic for us as an organization. We need to think, does it meet the requirements, both functional and non-functional? Do we have the skills, or indeed do we want to build the skills? What's the cost to both build and run? Will it protect us in the future? You know, is there a roadmap that will actually give us some protection for the future? So let's consider the ideal blockchain use case. Of course, it's Bitcoin. Okay, so why? So it started with a requirement, right? Satoshi Nakamoto wanted to build a purely peer-to-peer version of electronic cash that would allow the payments to be sent directly from one party to another without going through any financial institution. So, of course, the solution needed to be decentralized. They wanted it to be pseudonymous, transparent, fast, non-reputable, so non-deniability of transactions. They wanted to prevent the double spend of you trying to spend the same digital asset twice. They needed to provide an incentive model to encourage miners to participate in the consensus. And of course, it needed to be tamper-proof. So it's great for a cryptocurrency. But what if you're not building a decentralized cryptocurrency? So let's take a look at some of the blockchain characteristics. So it's fast and efficient, assuming that all of your transactions are on-chain. Once you have to interact with non-chain entities, then of course it slows down. It's auditable. All events are time-stamped, so it provides you with an audit trail. You have authentication in that each transaction is associated with a private key, and assuming that you look after your private key, transactions cannot happen without it, and therefore you have non-repudiation and non-deniability of transactions. Security is built in both at the protocol level and then is enforced by the network of nodes who are running the consensus algorithm. Blockchains are extendable. Of course, there are many implementations of single enterprises using blockchain, but not getting full benefit because they're not extending it to consortium. But the bigger the consortium, the more trustable it is. And finally, transparent. This is a little bit of a double-edged sword, and of course, Bitcoin is a fully permissionless and open system. Everyone can see everything, which is not what you want in many business scenarios. But of course, there have been many evolutions and developments to both public and private blockchains to introduce privacy between, and you can only see transactions between parties who you want to see. So in its simplest terms, a blockchain is a time-stamped series of immutable records of data that is managed by a cluster of computers not owned by a single entity. And each of these blocks is secured and bound to each other by cryptographic principles. So let's take it up a level. So that was pretty low. But let's take it up a level and think about abstractions or use cases where blockchain might be useful. So the first is data sharing. So this is where sharing some elements of data across entities in an ecosystem enhances the overall ecosystem. The example we're using here is automotive, where data is being shared between manufacturers, retailers, garages doing repair, and government or regulated bodies who are inspecting and certifying vehicles for testing. So there's great benefit in sharing the data here from an integrity perspective, from an efficiency perspective, reducing the amount of reconciliation that's required, and actually supporting a workflow. Secondly is this thing called an immutable record history, or we like to call it a shadow ledger. So again, we have multiple different entities who are interested in this data. In this case, the company HR is actually writing a timestamp transaction to the blockchain, which is then being reviewed or used by different third-party entities in the ecosystem. Think of it also like a patent. So, you know, this is a record, a digital record to say that some piece of digital data existed at a point in time. So if you wanted to kind of create an invention, you hash your patent documentation and put it on a public blockchain, and you can prove for sure later on that you had that idea back then. So in legal terms, this is called a notary service. So then you have, similarly, you have the attestation of digital data, where you're hashing data on the chain and to prove that it was there when you can come back to it later. And finally, and this is probably the most well-known use case of blockchain, is the tokenized asset. So blockchain tokens have been used for everything from money to real estate to votes to loyalty points to tickets for shows, right down through to diamonds or energy trading certificates. Indeed, the year after the blockchain network was launched, one of the original core developers actually proposed and implemented the use of a blockchain transaction to represent something other than the Bitcoin itself. And that was a concept known as colored coins, where they embedded metadata into the transaction and then used that metadata to represent a digital representation of a physical good. Okay, so now that we've considered the characteristics of a blockchain and some of those higher level abstractions, let's think about how we look at blockchain projects. So this slide here is from Gartner, and they suggest considering blockchain projects in these 4 phases. So the initial phase is very much, you don't need blockchain, right? But you should begin to explore and experiment and create the building blocks. The next phase is blockchain inspired. So again, you're now leveraging some of those building blocks. You're still not taking advantage of decentralization, and very much you're mapping blockchain onto your existing system paradigms. The third stage is what we call blockchain complete. And in this case, you're actually taking advantage of decentralization, tokenization, but you're still not thinking about the alternative paradigms that are supported with a fully decentralized autonomous organization. And that leads us to the last one. And to be honest, this is kind of business models that have not yet been thought about. But if you consider perhaps IoT devices communicating and negotiating contracts with each other to provide services, including the full payment, so no human intervention at all. So what about Rakuten and blockchain? If one of the goals of blockchain is decentralization and the removal of these trusted centralized intermediaries, why is it important for Rakuten? So I'm going to suggest 3 reasons. One is, even for fully decentralized blockchains, such as cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, right, you still have real-world interaction. So how do you get Bitcoin? Of course, you use Rakuten Wallet. I see Yamada-san at the end of the table. And of course, Rakuten, this is a great offering because Rakuten in Japan is very much a trusted entity, have a banking operation, and people are more willing to use Rakuten Wallet service than to use an exchange from some startup organization that they have no faith in. So there is interaction between blockchain and real world, and for that, people are still looking for trusted entities. The second would be, and Forbes said in the talking about the trends of blockchain in 2019, that the real winners are hybrid models. So it's great to talk about, fully decentralized systems such as Bitcoin, but of course the reality is that many of the solutions out there involve not only blockchains, but also existing systems and existing ecosystems. So in that sense, Rakuten is already playing in that space. It has many different businesses and therefore has an opportunity to influence. And the energy trading example that Nishi talked about is one of those. And finally is a thing that we call Rakuten originality. So, Rakuten has so many members, so many systems, including our SuperPoint loyalty system. It operates in so many different industries and so many different countries that it has a real opportunity to influence the blockchain ecosystem around the globe. So Nishi has already kind of talked through some of the projects. I'm not going to go through those in any great detail, but what I would like to do is leave you on 2 important points. The first is that consider blockchain not as a replacement technology, but as a complementary technology. So don't think that it's going to replace your existing databases. Indeed, it should complement database. So blockchain, for example, it's not a good relational database. You can't query it, right? But it is good for immutable records. It is good for non-repudiation. So consider it as a complementary technology and figure out where best it fits within your overall architecture. The second is the value of the consortium. So this is like the network effect. Social media platforms would not have any value if there were only 2 people using them. Similarly with blockchain, the value of the Bitcoin network is the thousands of nodes around the network that are running the consensus software and securing the network. Take that down a level to enterprise blockchain, and the value is in consortiums. So consortiums and technology together in the right industry context provide great to the overall consortium ecosystem. And on that, I'd like to introduce Olivier, who is the CEO of Rakuten Aquafaris, who is going to talk to you about one of those consortiums.
Thank you very much, Fergal. And so, yes, I'm Olivier, the head of Rakuten Aquafaris. So we are a company specialized in mobile technologies, and we are a leader in content digital publishing. Thanks to our technologies that are leveraging a mix of authoring tools, no-code tools, we are creating best possible personalized and engaging, entertaining digital user experiences on mobile. So we are serving clients all over the world, and also clients in India. I will come back on that. And as an example, the applications that you may be using today, the technology conference application today, has been created leveraging our no-code solution. So today I'm going to talk about the project we have been initiating in India. And so as we are collaborating with our clients all over the world, we are always discussing with them on what are their needs to improve our solutions. And actually, when we visited many clients in India, in the media and press industry, they all came out with the same 3 challenges they are seeing as they are growing fast, very fast, towards digital in India. The first one is that the media and press industry need to create trust. They need to create trust on their source of information. And this is all about finding solutions to fight against fake news. Especially this year, where there were elections in India, and the number of fake news that were across the social media raises by more than 1,000% versus previous elections. And this became a very critical social item in India. Second point they came to us is they need also to find a solution for authors to protect their intellectual property. Now with digital, it's so easy to make copies and distribute copies that they need to find a solution to protect what they are creating and monetize it. And the third challenge, they came out to us, it was about advertisement. They need new way to protect the advertisement monetization, because you know that in the media, in the press, one of the main sources of revenue is advertising. So we created a work group, including 3 assets that we have in Rakuten. So the Rakuten blockchain lab with all these experience in blockchain, but also the real industrialized blockchain capabilities that we have in Rakuten, because we have blockchain platforms in productions and delivering services to Rakuten and to their clients. Ourselves, Rakuten Aquafaris, we are collaborating with press industry for more than 10 years. And Rakuten India. So as Rakuten is establishing a global innovation center in India, it became very pivotal to have Rakuten India acting inside this work group to help the media and press industry in India. And we collaborated with Curveball, with Ganesh here, I will introduce just in a few minutes, as bringing the industry knowledge to tackle those challenges. And rapidly it came out that blockchain could provide the right technology to address those challenges by creating, like it was presented before, a chain of trust between the authors and that are creating the first information and the end users. So that anytime end users that are seeing an information can go back to the source and verify they can trust the source. And on the reverse side, also, an author can see who has been reusing what he has created. From this work group, we identified that to have an impact, a very strong impact, we need to gather consensus among the industry players in India. And this is how came the idea to create a consortium. Why a consortium? A consortium to gather content creators, technology providers, content distributors, all agreeing together to co-develop a solution that will become a standard in India to tackle the three major challenges I've mentioned, and the first one being how to create this trusted information. And so now I would like to introduce Ganesh Kaushik from Curveball, who will explain how we created and how we developed from this work group to a consortium. And I will add that this philosophy is very close to the Rakuten group values. As Rakuten, we always want to improve society with innovations and technology. Here with the consortium, we are right into it with the strong partnership we are creating. Ganesh?
Hello. So, why we created this consortium? We have the technology as Rakuten Group. There is technology which is available, and we don't want to go to the market with our technology and then thrust onto the market. So, we decided that we will bring in consortium members, trying to address their pain points, build something where the industry wants, and not thrust something to the industry. So we divided the media industry into various activities. One is the print, the other one is the broadcast, the other one is magazines. In print, you have newspapers and magazines divided two separately because the use cases for both of them will be different. And then the content management system, and comes the book publishing. Book publishing is becoming digital, I mean, after the Kindle and Kobo that is coming in. And now there are interests which is coming where people wanted to read only one chapter, and using blockchain technology, that is going to be possible. So what we did is, few months back, we announced this consortium in Indian Institute of Science in Bangalore, along with Dinamalar and PTI. PTI is the Press Trust of India, which is the news agency like Reuters. So we have partnered with very interesting people who will bring in a lot of their expertise and their knowledge into this consortium to create a product or a solution which is very robust and which is easy to use for the people. So on the broadcast side, we are partnering with Network 18, which is the largest broadcaster in India. They are telecasting CNN in India, CNBC in India, and Viacom in India. Like that, they have multiple channels, more than 50 channels they have in their belt. And apart from that, they are also a publishing company. They publish magazines called Fortune in India. So we thought we will partner with them where they will bring in the broadcast experience to us and then see how some of those pain points could be addressed. As far as the broadcast is concerned, the major thing that what we foresee is the content syndication. Normally you will see the content goes from one place to another place, and the syndication happens. There is a huge amount of process that goes there. So we think the blockchain can address those processes and probably complement some of those and remove some of those processes. So this is what we are doing in India with the media partners. And then very soon, this consortium will come out with a proper solution addressing all the pain points. Thank you.